All the lights died, and the street turned into one long breath. "Turn off your lights," the voice said again, right by the mailboxes. I couldn't see the person, just a darker shape in the dark. Emma's hand squeezed my sleeve so hard it hurt. Peanut gave a low growl that rumbled like a small motor. "Police!" an officer shouted. "Don't move!" Flashlights snapped in, thin and white. The shape by the mailboxes flinched and slipped backward, fast, like a fish sliding into deeper water. A beam caught the edge of a black cap, then lost it. "Perimeter!" the detective yelled. "Hold that fence, hold that fence." The quiet broke into many pieces. Radios crackled. Boots slammed the ground. A9 barked sharp and brave from the far corner. Somewhere down the hill a transformer popped again, blew for a blink, then nothing. The whole block went black as ink. Only the stars and the flashlights knew where we were. Inside. Inside now, an officer called to us, waving us toward my house. "Lock your door. Stay low." Emma pulled me by the wrist. Peanut came with his ears flat, confused but ready. We ran for my porch. My fingers missed the doorknob twice. Then we were in, and I slammed the door and threw the deadbolt. We stood in the dark, breathing like we had been running forever. I felt for my phone and found it by the sink, the little screen like a tiny moon in my hand. A text from the detective blinked onto it. "Power cut. Stay inside. Do not step outside without an officer." Another text followed. "If you hear anything under your floor or near foundation, call." They use crawls. Under your floor. My stomach dropped. I didn't want to hear anything under my floor, ever. "Come away from the windows," I said, trying to keep my voice steady like a plank. We moved into the middle of the room. Outside, beams sliced the dark. I could picture the house across the street even though I couldn't see it. The taped curtains, the towels under doors, the locked back room. A low hum floated through the quiet, the same steady purr I'd heard so many nights, but now it sounded like a secret trying to keep itself alive. Then something new slid through the air and found my nose, a thin, hot smell like a toaster left on too long. "Do you smell that?" Emma whispered. "Yeah." The word stuck to my throat. "That's smoke." I called the detective. He picked up on the first ring. "We've got smoke," I said. "From the house. I think." "Copy," he said. I could hear feet and radios behind his voice. "No panic. I'll focus. We've got firefighters staging 1 block over. Stay put. Do not come outside." Across the street, someone shouted, "Ventilation! Break the top panes." Glass popped like ice. Peanut jumped and whined. I put a hand on his head and felt him shake hard and then hold still because he is a good dog who listens when it matters. Another voice, "We've still got movement," sighed Crawl. "He's trying to take the fence line." "Hold him," the detective said from somewhere in the dark. "Do not get sucked under. Tie off." I could feel how the street moved even if I couldn't see it. People holding their places, lines tied around waists, knees in dirt, lights searching for shadows. My phone buzzed again. The text was a picture from the detective, my own front walk, taken from his angle. "You're okay," he wrote. "Stay inside." We waited. Waiting can be loud when your heart makes noise. I could hear the quiet house across the street changing shapes. We saw nothing, but we felt everything. The air shifting as windows broke, a door slamming, something heavy dragged. The smoke smell thinned and then thickened and thickened, like someone was opening and closing a lid. "Daniel," Emma whispered suddenly, her voice small and sharp. "Do you hear that?" I held my breath. At first I heard nothing. Then I heard it too. Tick tick. Not a clock. Lower. Closer. From the floor near my front wall. Like a small rock knocking wood. 3 taps, then quiet, then 3 more. "I'm calling," I whispered. I texted, "Under my floor, tapping." The reply was instant. "Stay off that wall. We've got 2 on the crawl. We're coming." The tapping stopped. In the stillness that followed, the house across the street gave a different sound. Metal snapping. "Back room breach," someone yelled. "Breach. Hands. Hands where I can see them." A crash. A scuffle. A shout that broke and got caught by someone else's hand and turned into a grunt. Not close. Not far. Right in the middle of everything. Please, a voice said, the same paper tear voice I'd heard when the door first opened. Please. Another officer, calm like a rock in a river. It's okay. With me. With me. A bright point bloomed down the block and grew, a fire engine turning our way. No siren, just red lights melting against the snow banks and blank windows. They killed the engine and rolled quiet the last few feet like a big animal that knows how to be gentle. Firefighters in thick coats moved like a wall. One went straight for the taped curtains with a hook tool and punched a new mouth into the house. Two others dragged a fan the size of a coffee table and set it humming. The smoke fell back as if the night had drawn a line and told it to stay on its side. Victims coming out, someone called. We need blankets. Neighbors, real neighbors, stepped from doorways with quilts and coats, faces pale, eyes set. A woman I'd never met wrapped a blue blanket around a girl's shoulders like she had practiced all her life. A man from the corner gave his own hat to a boy with close-cropped hair. No one asked names. No one asked questions. They just did the next right thing. The K9 barked again, near the fence. Then a different bark, short, sharp, like the dog had found the river and stood in it. Contact, came a shout. Under the fence, he's wedged. Hands. Hands. The dog gave another bark and then went quiet, like he had lain down with his chin on his paws, waiting for his human to handle the rest. Daniel, Emma said, breathless. She pointed to my front window. On the glass, in the thin soot from the power flicker and the smoke that had drifted, a small mark had appeared at the bottom, the shape of 3 fingers, dragged upward, then gone. It could have been a trick. It could have been my own fear drawing pictures. But I knew the map of that fear now. The detective texted again. Suspect pinned at fence. Stay inside. Not taken. Not done. The next minutes were fast and slow at the same time, like trying to run in a dream. Firefighters cracked more panes to pour fresh air into rooms designed to keep air out. Officers led people across the street with hands open and heads bent, like going under a low branch. The K9 team pulled a man from the dark gap under the fence, mud at his elbows, cap gone, eyes flat and too bright. He didn't look at anyone. He tried to go limp. They didn't let him. They cuffed him and sat him on the curb. An officer with a kind voice but a face like a closed door said words to him I couldn't hear. The man didn't answer. He looked past everything, like he had decided not to live in this street with the rest of us. Clear the garage, the detective said. I want eyes on that panel. And somebody check the utility box, how they killed power that fast. A firefighter pointed with his chin at the lines that ran along the back fence. They tapped at the pole, he said. Sawed the lock. Clean. He didn't say the rest out loud. They had done this before. Who cut it? Emma whispered. I don't know, I said. I don't know anything I want to know right now. A small hand tugged at the edge of a blanket across the street. The girl under it looked up, eyes full of night. A volunteer tucked the blanket closer and said, You're safe. I'll hear that sentence forever. Then the street shifted again. The detective turned toward me and held up a palm, stay, then jogged across the lawn with 2 officers and the K9. They went to my side yard. They crouched by the foundation. One officer set his ear to the concrete. He nodded. The K9 wagged once, low, then stilled. The detective looked up at my window and saw me there. He pointed at the floor with 2 fingers. Hear anything now? I shook my head. Silence. A firefighter walked past with a bundle of towels in his arms. Emma caught his sleeve. Is there a fire? She asked. Hot plate, heavy draw, no vent, he said without stopping. We've got it. No vent. No windows. No lights. Rules that turned houses into boxes. My phone buzzed again. Unknown number this time. The text was short. Thank you for noticing. A second buzz. Some of us are still in the other one. For a second I thought the room tipped. The other one? I said out loud. Emma leaned in. What? I typed. What other one? Where? No dots. No answer. I sent the number to the detective and wrote. Just got this. Says, the other one. He replied in 1 second. Do not respond again. Screenshot saved. Thank you. I didn't realize I was shaking until Peanut leaned his whole weight on my shin the way dogs do, telling you with their body what they cannot say with words. Outside, the suspect on the curb lifted his chin and looked straight at the dark house he had used like a locked box. He smiled, a slow, wrong smile that didn't fit the night. The detective saw it and moved to stand between that smile and the people wrapped in blankets. Look at me, he told the man, not loud. Eyes here. The smile stayed. It made my skin feel like paper. An officer by the garage shouted, Hey, here. This door's been used. He slapped a palm against a low rectangle cut into the drywall near the floor, hidden behind a shelf that had been dragged aside. The rectangle opened onto the crawl run that led to the fence. They shined light inside. The dirt there was smoother than the rest, pressed and pressed again by elbows and knees. Along the side, someone had set boards end to end like a thin, cheap road. That's how he ran, the detective said, and his voice had a rock inside it now. He didn't plan on a dog. The K9 handler gave his partner a soft rub behind one ear. The dog closed his eyes and opened them again and took a deep breath like he was tasting the whole night at once. The fire captain walked over and traded quick words with the detective. Fire out. Venting's good. We've got some CO in there. We'll meter it. The detective nodded. Thank you. He looked at the line of people huddled under quilts. EMS is right behind. In the middle of all that, a small thing happened that would have seemed like nothing on any other night but felt like thunder now. The house 2 doors down, the sage green one with the crooked fence, went from normal dark to a different kind of dark as if a blanket had been laid over a lamp. It was a half-second fade, not like a light switch but like a hand covering a mouth. Emma saw it too. Did you see? She started. I did, I said. The detective's head turned like a compass. He saw where we were looking. He spoke into his radio without taking his eyes off that house. Unit at Foxtail. Copy? We're going to need you to stand by Sage Green, 1 door east. Do not knock. Do not light. Eyes only. We're here, a voice said from the dark. Copy, the detective said. He looked back at us and lifted his hand. Stay. He didn't need to. My feet were rooted. Then the night cracked again. Not with a shout this time, but with a gentle, awful sound, wood complaining. The sage green house's side gate opened 2 fingers wide and then settled closed again, like a whisper. Movement, east side, the radio said. Hold, the detective answered. Let it show you. He took 2 steps and stopped. The K9 handler took 1 step and stopped. Every light held still. Every breath held still. The sage greenhouse kept its secrets for 3 slow ticks of my heart. And then the front door of that house opened just an inch. No light came out because there was nothing inside to shine. But in that inch, something moved. A small shape, then a hand. A child's hand, pale in the moon and the weak reflection from our broken glass street. The hand opened, fingers flat like a star, then folded and opened again. Not a wave. A signal. The detective raised his palm at us 1 more time, stay, and turned his whole body toward that door. Second location, he said into the night, voice even and clear. We're going in.